Awesome. Okay. Awesome, guys. So welcome to the 20th, 22nd, August 22nd. This is our official, I believe, fourth or fifth live stream. And today we're going to go over something special in my heart, and that is mindset. And that is basically what really leads to everything in your life, the results you want, the results you actually have. So when it comes to mindset, right, this is something you definitely do not ignore. This is something that I hold dear to my heart because it wasn't until I changed my mindset that everything in my life started changing. And I want to start it off by saying this. This is what I always say to my main team because it's absolutely true. This is bigger than closing. This is your life that you're in control of right now. And I know everybody wants to master closing in here. We're in sales, but more importantly than sales is it's bigger than that. Like this is literally your life, and you have obviously full control of it. So when it comes to taking closing seriously, you really want to make sure you're doing that. Yeah, exactly what Jacob said. It is a lifestyle, and first things first, you have to know what it is you truly want. You know, what is your goal? What do you want in your life? And that's basically where I want to start off with, is you have to know what it is you truly want. If, for example, if it's being a part of this team, right, and you truly want to be a part of the main team, Team Leverage, right, know that and write it down as a goal. Make it official. If it's to close for a very popular entrepreneurs, maybe like Ty Lopez or anything like that, like make it your goal. Know it first before you start it. You got to know your destination before you start doing stuff, because you're literally just messing around, just starting chaos because you don't even know where you're trying to get to at the end of the day. So it starts with knowing what you truly want and what is your goal. And also, after you know what your goal is, it starts by, it's super simple. A lot of the things I'm going to be going over today is simple, very, very simple. And it starts by this. It's about playing full out, playing full out, not being passive. Like, for example, right now, if you're taking this academy and you're taking notes and you're listening very closely, right, that's playing full out. But if you're on your phone right now, if you're just sitting down listening to me passively talk, you're not playing full out. And I want to go back to the quote, you know, like, this is your life. If you're not taking this shit seriously right now, what I'm saying, you're not going to take anything seriously. So it starts by taking things seriously right now. And that's what playing full out means, is taking your life seriously, right? Because the more you take it seriously, the more results you're going to get. And the more results you're going to get, obviously, the more fulfilled you're going to be, the more happy you're going to be, because now you're achieving stuff that you want. And I want to start off with this quote as well, that there's a difference between interested, right, and committed. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient, right? And when you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. And I really wanted to get into a story on how I actually learned sales, so you guys a little bit know more in-depth detail about my background, what I've been through, and how I'm able to do like one call closes like yesterday and the day before, after just literally landing an influencer last week, right? And it started off being at 19 years old. I was trying to figure out my life. During this time, I was a full-time college student. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. All I know is that I was a business major and I wanted to start a business. I was working at Chipotle making minimum wage, and I was also going to the ROTC program because you know what they tell you, benefits and security and all this stuff, the system, you know, they try to basically social condition you with. So this is the time I was really trying to figure out my life. And literally, I asked myself, yeah, I can't, yeah. So when I was in ROTC, guys, I'm literally like the worst person. I'm so stubborn, like, and I have a really big ego, but anyways, that's besides the point. But I asked myself, right, is this all there is to life at a very young age? And ROTC, it was an Air Force program to commission as a officer in the Navy, or officer in any military branch that you go to, though. So that's ROTC. It's like a special program that you come into the military as a higher rank. So that's what I was doing. And I asked myself, right, like, is there all to life? Is it just college? Is it just a job? 20 years, retire? I was like, is this it? Literally. And I was like, Bull fucking shit, yo. Fuck this. This is stupid to me. Why am I just gonna live a life, go to college, get a regular job, live paycheck to paycheck, 20 years, retire the system, right? I didn't want everybody's life, the average life. To me, I was like, dude, that is literally like the opposite of what I want. Why do I want to go to a place I don't like to go to? Why do I need to follow a system that everybody's following it? Like, I don't want to be a damn sheep, right? I don't want to be a sheep. I want to be me. I want to live my life to the fullest. And during this time, right, I started reading books. And all the entrepreneurs I followed said one thing is learn sales. This was back in 2016. So a little insight of you guys. This is how I look like, right? 19 years old, no sales experience at all. Braces. I was a personal trainer. Literally, I look like trash, like confused, unskilled kid. But what I did have is I had a vision to do more in my life than following the system that basically, the what everybody poisons you with. So this was me, guys. Absolute trash, no skills, confused as hell. And during this time, I was really, really depressed as well because I was going to college, but I wasn't being fulfilled. I was going to Chipotle, but I wasn't fulfilled. Um, so this goes into the next segment, which is where I actually have my first and legit and real mentor. So this guy right here, guys, this was my boss. His name is Reggie, and let's just say that Reggie, literally, he had it all. He had the charisma, right? He had the nice car. He had also a really great social life, dating life, right? And I was just like, dude, this guy, like, he has it. And I'm just like, I want that. And in my head, I was just like, well, what is he doing? Like, he's my boss, but what really is he doing? And I started observing him, and I realized he was in sales. And not only that, he was in sales, but he was making the most money in the gym I was working in. And I'm like, dude, this guy's literally making close to six figures being just a fitness manager. I was like, whoa, 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 there's a correlation. The books I'm reading is telling me to learn sales because it's a high income skill. And also the guy I'm getting bossed by the way, he was a really cool dude. I'm getting bossed around. He wasn't really a boss. He was more of a leader. The guy that's leading me into personal training is a guy that's in sales. And what did I do after I figured this out, right? Like, I was going through my personal development, right? I was going into entrepreneurship. They said one skill that I needed to learn, that I must have, is sales, right? And just to give you guys some context, he rejected me as a mentee 6 times, like 6 or more times. I forgot, but all I knew, I was like, dude, I gotta learn this skill. I want this. My goal was to be just like Reggie. That was like my only goal. That's where it first started for me, and where it got me to today. And just to let you guys know, I worked for free for 6 months and shadowed him. And this is while I was going to school, right? So just to remember, you guys, this is while I was going to school full time, 15 units. This is when I was working at Chipotle as well. I was working 2 jobs, and I was going to the ROTC program this time. And I literally, I went all out. I was showing up before classes when he went to work. I was showing up after I trained my clients. I was showing up after I worked a shift in like Chipotle. I did what it took. And because of that, right, I learned by listening, observing, and doing everything he said. And just to let you guys know, like, I knew nothing about sales, like no sales experience at all. And I stayed humbled as a student because I didn't have his results and I wanted his results. And after working 6 months unpaid, it was the best payoff in the world. So I just want to let you guys know, during this time, the assistant manager started slipping up. She didn't show up to appointments. She was starting to be late to her appointments. Reggie started noticing that, right? And he doesn't work Saturdays, but I love the gym so much and I love the environment. And I love working out that I'd always be in the gym, and there would be clients literally waiting in the front office like, hey, where's Z at? Like, I have a scheduled training session with her today. And for me, I'm like, well, Reggie's helping out so many people closing personal training deals. I've just been learning and observing him for the last 6 months. I think I could do this. So what I did is I started taking those appointments and I started closing him without him actually formally training me. So I'll let you guys know, he didn't even train me. I just shadowed him, and he took me in as a mentee when he realized, like, dude, I was serious. I was really serious about my success. I was really serious about doing it what it takes, right? And when it comes to right now and the position you are in your life, right? When it comes to your goal, don't do what you love, do what it takes, right? Don't do what you love, do what it takes. Do you guys think that I wanted to work like 2 jobs and come before work and come after work? Do you guys think that I wanted to work 6 months unpaid? I didn't want to do any of that. Did I love it? No, fuck no, I didn't. But I did what it takes because I saw the vision at the end of all that commitment, right? I knew that I'm gonna love what I see, love the result after I do what it takes. And right now, maybe outbound calling, you don't love it, right? You don't love it at all, but that's okay. You don't have to do what you love right now. You just have to do what it takes because you know what you're doing every single day is going to lead up to your results. And as a result, for me, guys, I went from being no experience in sales, 19 years old, to the top salesman of the entire company. And I just want to let you guys know, like, here's a small transformation, guys. Like, I went from the little trash kid, right? Trash ass kid. God, I was confused, depressed on the left, to a guy that was producing top deals at a high level. And that's because I just followed everything Reggie told me. And I just was a humble student. And I made a also good body transformation as well. You know, I can't keep looking like a scrub. But guys, I was closing deals at a good level when I was still looking like I didn't look the part. But this is where I found my passion, guys. So after really going through this journey, 2016 is when I started, right? This is when I found my passion. And as you guys can see, it's dated. This is on one of my old Twitter accounts, right? 4/14/16. About a little over 2 years ago is when I found out what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And here's some of my clients, right? Here's my client, Tim, that lost 12 pounds in 1 month with the help of my training plan and nutrition plan, right? And I found my passion through personal training. For example, Lisa, one of my old clients, right? 154, she started, she went to 142. And I realized that helping others is what gives me fulfillment. And this is where my mindset started getting stronger and my self-awareness on what I wanted to continuously keep doing. And, you know, I was getting great reviews from people. People loved the results I was bringing them because I actually truly cared about other people's results. I wanted people to win. And what I realized during this time, I was like, wow, the more people I close, the more transformations I get to do, and the more people I get to help and transform their lives for the better. And I was getting great reviews, as you guys can see on the left. And at the end of the day, right, my passion is to help others. And I found that 2 years ago. This is when 2018, this was last year, right? And it could be fitness, life, finances, etc. My whole goal is to create a positive impact, point blank, period. And at the end of the day, you know, do whatever makes you happy. But this is what made me happy, is closing people, transforming their lives, and making a positive impact in this world. I was like, holy crap, this is it. This is giving me fulfillment. And what I learned from Reggie is what I took to my closing team, right? And I want to be very, very clear here. Reggie's not the reason why I'm successful. He guided me being successful, but it was because of my individual efforts. It was because of my commitment. It was because of my decision to transform my life for the better. That's how I ended up being the top, you know, salesman of the company. And I wanted to relate this also to when I started Team Leverage, because when I started a team, right? And as you guys can hear, this was our first slide ever created, 10/21/18. This is when Live Rich was born. And I carried the same principles I learned from Reggie to this team. And this is the mission, vision, principles. Just so you guys know, right? My vision when I first started this team is I wanted to create a platform for closers. I wanted them to be in a place where they can monetize and grow their skill, to be able to work for themselves, to be able to close full time, and to be able to be a part of a freaking team, right? Because when I was with Reggie, I was a part of a team. It was him and also my other coworkers. But more importantly than that, right, the mission for me was to have a closer and influencer working together and bringing each other results, because results is basically what all we look for in our life, right? We want results. And the principles I laid out on my team, if you don't live by these principles, I'm going to fire you. It is what it is. But I have high standards for myself, and that's the reason why I'm getting great results, and also my team members, is because we live by principles. So A couple of things I want to blaze through this real quick is you're working well with others. You produce results for yourself and the team. You educate yourself and others. You are resourceful. You are able to adapt and pivot fast. You are able to solve your own problems in the teams. You are loyal to the team. You take 100% ownership and responsibility for your actions. You have no ego and you stay humble. You're 100% authentic, transparent, and honest. You have high standards. This is a big one. Not operating low or good enough as a performer. Good is the enemy of great. I want you to be great. I want everybody here to be great, right? And you show the fuck up, right? To meetings, calls, trainings, and you're actively present with the team. So this is my vision, mission, and principles, right? And obviously it always started off with a goal, right? My goal with this was to create another business that impacts others, to have the #1 closing agency ever created, and a business built on values, principles, and integrity. Everything I learned from Reggie, I took it to this business. And the lesson that I really want to get to you guys, right, is that all it takes is one decision. All it really takes is one commitment. And all it really takes is execution to your long-term goals. And remember, you don't do what you love, do what it takes. And this is all comes from down a commitment. Literally comes down from a commitment. No commitment means no change. No change means no results. No results means depression. No results means feeling bad for yourself. No results means victimizing yourself, right? All this stuff we don't want to go through, but that comes from the lack of commitment. And everybody in here needs to make the one decision right now, today, in order to achieve whatever they want in the future. And as a result, right, continuing these principles I learned from Reggie, continuing, being committed, this is what happened, guys. Like 10 months. And mind you, I didn't know shit about starting a closing team at all. Just me, Jake, Dylan, didn't know shit. No one taught us anything at this point, right? It was just us, right? And it was a vision. And as a result, guys, 10 months, $178,000, right? That's absolutely crazy to me. 10 months. And I'm a college dropout, right? I'm a normal freaking dude. Jake's a normal dude. Dylan's a normal dude. Tyler, Stoli, we're all normal dudes, but we're committed. And that's why we're getting great results. So the point of this that I really want to get it like really, really clear today is, one, you got to have a goal. Two, you got to be committed and play full out to the goal. And most importantly, you have to deserve your goal. You have to deserve your results, right? Here's a quote that you need to write down and just embed in your mind, right? To get what you want, you have to deserve what you want. The world is not a crazy enough place to reward a whole bunch of undeserving people. Charles T. Munger. So when it comes to whatever it is you want in your life, deserve it. Reason why Reggie mentored me is because I deserved it. I went 6 months unpaid, right? The reason why the team is where it's at today, over like a six-figure business, is because we deserved it, right? This stuff doesn't happen by accident. Success doesn't happen by accident. And you got to remember, when it comes to success and achievement in life, it comes from the goal. It comes from being absolutely committed and playing full out to the goal. And it comes from deserving the goal at the end of the day. So for you guys, the first thing you need to do after this class is write down your goal. Write down your goal, whatever it is, and stay committed to it, right? Make one decision. And Norman, can you please mute so we don't distract the class? Yeah, have a goal. And it's really simple, guys. Like, success is super simple. And the simpler you keep it, the easier it is to execute it. I kept my goal simple. For me, my first goal was I wanted to be like Reggie. That was it. That was it. That was my goal. I wanted to be like Reggie, and I committed to being that goal, right? And playing full out. The next goal, as soon as after I started the closing team, I was like, the goal is the #1 agency, right? And the #1 closing agency. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you just got to deserve it, and you got to do what it takes. At the end of the day, you got to do what it takes. And going into sales now, right? This now is contributing to sales. The most important is the 5 pillars when it comes to sales. Now, 1 is courage, right? 2 is confidence. 3 is clarity. 4 is conviction, and 5 is certainty. And bigger than anything else, guys, when I say it's more than closing, this is your life. You got to have 1, courage in your life. 2, you got to have confidence in your life. 3, you got to have clarity in your life. 4, you got to have conviction in your life. 5, you have certainty in your life. If you don't have these 5 pillars yourself, how the hell are you going to close somebody else on these things? You can't, because you're not living a true life. Because, for example, courage, right? You need to have the courage to call yourself on bullshit. Like, for example, for me, you need to have the courage of looking yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm fucking up. You need to have your courage in the mirror and say, I'm fucking up. I'm not doing what it takes. You need to have confidence. Where does confidence come from? It comes from competence. It comes from doing the work. If I started on day 0, I was like, Reggie, mentor me, and I'll close a deal, I would have 0 confidence. You know why? Because I'm incompetent at sales. But after 6 months of being a student, being humble, best believe I was confident, because I was like, holy crap, I went 6 months unpaid and I worked my ass off to really understand how he talks, his tonality. I think I could do this. Actually, I don't even think I could do this. I know I can do this, right? Confidence and conviction and certainty, they really play a key role with each other to kind of coincide. And 3 is clarity, right? Clarity with your goals. What's your goals, right? Be clear on it, right? I want to make $10,000. Okay. By when? I don't know. That's not clarity. You got to have clarity in your own life, right? Because the more clarity you have in your own life, the more clarity you can help others. And when it comes back to my principles, as you guys can see, in the team, I always say others. I always say the team, because this is bigger than you. This is bigger than closing. What you do to yourself, how you treat yourself, is how you're going to impact other people, right? How you're going to impact other people. And to me, that's what living rich is all about. Living rich within yourself to impact people on a positive level, right? To where they also live rich financially, mentally, spiritually, mindset-wise, the whole 9. And when it also comes to sales, Dylan, if you're here, I also want you to speak more in depth detail about courage. You know, what do you need to have courage during a call, like for a prospect, right? You hear that they talk about their wife. You need to have the courage to speak up. Like, for example, oh, I heard that you and your you and your wife are in business together. You know what? It would be better if I had both of you guys in this phone call instead of just you, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So what we'll go ahead and do is reschedule this appointment for tomorrow, so we're all together talking, right? So Dylan, if you're here, go ahead and unmute so you can also go more in depth about the 5 pillars.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you hit it, on the head, right? And we talk about this in Discord and role play all the time. A lot of the stuff that you guys hear me say and that I throw in, right? Some of it may come across as it's funny. I when I'm role playing with some of you guys, you're like, wait, are we actually allowed to say that on the call? Like, yes, you are allowed to say that. You are allowed to say that on the call, right? But sometimes when you call somebody out on something, especially if you're going to close them, right, you have to have the courage to say something when it's like literally fresh on your mind. So the moment you guys are talking or closing or wanting to close somebody and something pops into your mind, that's the time you need to say it. That's the time you have to address it. That's the best opportunity to bring it to light. And even during role plays too, you can kind of feel, it's not necessarily it's not necessarily grow some balls, right? Not to that extreme, but it's just, you guys can't close somebody if you don't have the courage to bring up what's wrong. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by that is, I love giving this an example. As you guys know, when it comes to building rapport with somebody, you don't want to just have friendship rapport. You want to have authority rapport. And an example is, maybe you have a close friend or a sister or a brother, somebody that that is always in really bad relationships, right? They're always going down the rabbit hole. Maybe they get cheated on. They're always, crying and devastated, going from relationship to relationship, right? Most people that are friends with that person will say it's okay, right? You didn't do anything wrong. That person was just a piece of crap, blah, 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 right? But knowing that you see a pattern in the type of people that person dates, knowing that you see a pattern in how they show up in their relationship, right? Thinking that you're a good friend and then just telling them what they want to hear isn't actually helping that person, right? Having courage to help that person is to actually go to them and say, look, for the past 5 years, you've been dating the exact same style of person. whatever it is, you've been meeting them at bars, you haven't been taking your relationship seriously, even though that, that you go for the same personality type. And maybe if you continue going down that path and dating the same people, you're always going to end up with the same results. So what you really need to do is self-reflect, take some time off, maybe go a year, find yourself, don't date anybody for the next year, right? Figure out what you really need and what you're looking for in an individual, and have the confidence in yourself to be able to go a year without needing to be in a relationship. That's how you actually help somebody, because if you don't do that, and if you don't have the courage to say to somebody that they're close to you, you're not helping that person. They're never going to change, because change comes with pain, right? Put that in the chat. Does everybody understand that? Change, especially major change, actually comes from pain. I don't care if it's your best friend, if it's somebody in your family, right? You have to, it's going to be painful. Otherwise, there will never change. It's human nature. It's how we are wired as human beings. We have to go through extreme trauma in order to actually change and stuff, right? Take a person that has been, talking about losing weight and wanting to change their life and actually exercise, who's been saying it for 15 years. Well, why is it that after, when they have a heart attack and they almost die, that they're sitting in the doctor's office like, okay, that's it, enough's enough? Right? They actually start dieting. They start changing their ways. They actually start going to the gym. Why? Because they almost died. They went through the pain of having a heart attack, and it took that extreme trauma to get them there. Now, whenever you bring up the light of a situation to somebody, whether it's on the phone or whether it's somebody close to you, right, you have to have the courage to be able to say that, right? Because if you don't have the courage to be able to say that, you're not going to close somebody. You're not going to change their life, and you're not going to help that person. So it does take courage to say certain things on the phone, and you can say things without, being rude. I'm not telling you guys to, don't get on the phone with somebody and tell them that they're a freaking, piece of crap, and that you know what I mean? Like you got to finesse it. You want to bring things up, but you have to have the courage to say it. Confidence. You will not be an authority figure, and you will not have authority rapport of the doctor frame if you're not showing absolute confidence and clarity over the call. Like, it just is what it is. The moment that you show that you have any type of doubt of what it is that you're saying, or you don't know the answer, it's okay to say with confidence, hey, you know what? I don't really know the answer to that right now, but you know what? Hey, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. That's a really good question. And I definitely want to get that, because if it comes up in the future, I definitely want to know that. And in the meantime, let's continue on with yada, yada, yada. It's okay to say that you don't know something. But if you show that you're kind of like stuttering and you're like, I'm not quite sure. Hold on a second. Right? You're showing no confidence whatsoever, right? You just killed all of your authority. You killed your rapport, and now you're not the expert that they need to be able to talk to. And to be able to be an expert of something, right? You have to have confidence. You have to have courage. You have to have clarity, right? If you guys go to the doctor, okay, and let's say you're on the phone with somebody and they give you permission to have a conversation with them, right? If you go to the doctor, and you tell the doctor, no, I'm if the doctor's asking you questions like, well, why are you doing this, this, and this, and not this, this, and this? And then all of it, if someone says to the doctor, well, I don't know, isn't that why I'm here? That's your job. No, the doctor's going to be like, okay, cool. If you don't want to listen to what I have to say, then, cool, go, you can leave, enjoy, and, you're probably going to die in the next 5 days. If that's the choice you want to go, continue doing what you're doing, and, enjoy. But, you're in my house, you're in my hospital. And if you really want to fix this problem, you're going to listen to what I have to say, right? Why? Because the doctor has the authority, and they are there because they have a problem. They have a choice. And when you're on the phone with people, you can very, sternly give them a choice, right? Say, look, I completely understand. And you know what? With all due respect, obviously you're looking into this for a specific reason, because you want help with the situation. And from what you told me, you're already at $1,500 a month, and you've been trying to get past that for the past 5 years. So we could both agree that what you're doing right now definitely isn't working. If you're willing to continue doing what you're doing and not go through a drastic change and have the conversation of opening up with me and seeing what the real problem is that we can fix, and you want to go back to what you're doing, that's completely fine if you're wanting to do that, right? But if you're also willing to have the conversation of actually helping me problem solve and see what's really going on here, so we can actually get you out of this and get you to the point where you're not wasting another 5 years and actually making 5K a month. If you're open to having that conversation, we can do that as well. You know, which choice would work best for you, right? Now, I say that with the utmost confidence. I leverage all the pain and stuff that we talked about because obviously they're there for a reason, whether they watched a webinar, whether I reached out to them, whether they scheduled a call, it doesn't matter. They're there because they have a problem, but I have to say that with confidence and also have to have the courage to say that. 9 times out of 10, guess what they're going to do? They're going to be like, no, you're right. No, I am willing to have the conversation. And if not, cool. Thank you for saving me another 30 minutes of my time to where I didn't have to drag out a conversation because there's no helping that person anyways. Doesn't matter where they close them, doesn't matter what program that they get, they're going to keep doing what they're doing, and that's fine. They will learn the hard way in the future, and they're going to go through a lot more pain and trauma figuring everything out. It is what it is. So, and then the last one, obviously you have to say that with conviction, right? You really have to deliver anything that you're saying to that level with very, very strong conviction. Because again, we're maintaining the authority frame. But number 5 is absolute certainty, right? You never want to invoke uncertainty whenever you're on the phone with a prospect. I see this a lot too. And so for instance, you know, if you say things like, if you ask a prospect a question like, you know, oh, well, do you really have the, you know, you're working full time, you know, how are you going to have enough time to be able to build a business? You know, right? Like, do you even have enough time to be able to go? What you're doing when you say that is you're actually creating uncertainty, right? They're like, I don't know, right? Oh crap, you know, is there no way I could do this? Is there no way I could be successful in my circumstance? You know, right? You don't want to create objections in the phone conversation and deliver uncertainty to somebody. And if anyone has a specific internal or external belief or something they bring up on the call, right, you want to reflect and clarify, like we've been talking about on Discord and practicing, and you want to deliver that with absolute certainty so that they can draw a conclusion to where it makes sense. But more importantly, to maintain your authority frame, you want to always put the responsibility back on their shoulders. What's going to happen is prospects are going to always try to come to you and put the responsibility on you. That's where reflecting and clarifying and reframing comes in. You reflect, you clarify, you reframe it, and you put it back, the responsibility back in their hands. Because at the end of the day, it is their responsibility to be successful, it is their responsibility to take action, and you are just there as the authority figure to guide them and help them, right? So never get that misconstrued and always follow these 5 things and realize that these are important when it comes to maintaining authority. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, and internalizing this, right? When it really comes down to your phone calls, that you really have to believe this yourself, is we're closing them on a transformation that will absolutely change your life for the better, right? We are closing them on making one decision that truly matters, and are closing them on making one commitment that will change everything once and for all. Sound familiar? Guys, does this sound familiar? It is, because this starts with you. It starts with you making a transformation for yourself. It starts with you making one decision with mastering closing, right? Persuasion. And it starts with you making one commitment to yourself. Because if you can't even do these things for yourself, how the hell are you going to do it for somebody else? That doesn't make sense at all. So, what I really want to like get at, again, just the whole theme, like, this is bigger than closing, guys. This is your life, right? This is your life. So when it comes to making sure they get a transformation, right? Be a person that's also transforming. So you can speak with conviction yourself, right? When you're closing them on making one decision that truly matters, right? Have you made that one decision that mattered for yourself, right? When we're closing them on making that one commitment that'll change everything once for all, have you actually have you actually made that one commitment to yourself? So yeah, and Nico, it is absolute leadership, right? And I've learned this from Reggie, and I'm just carrying that with me everywhere I go. Everything starts with you, right? And the thing is, These people, these prospects are relying on you to have a transformation for the better. These prospects are relying on you making that one decision to mastering closing so you can close them. These prospects are relying on you to make a commitment to yourself to help them make that one commitment that will change everything once and for all. Put it in the chat if that makes sense.
Can I share a quick story on the commitment, Joey?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Floor's all yours.
Um, does anybody here put in the chat? You guys know who Tom Bilyeu is?
Billionaire.
Everyone says no. We got one yes. Nope.
Yeah.
So he has the show. Gosh, what's the name of it?
Impact Theory.
Yeah, Impact Theory on YouTube. But before he pivoted into Impact Theory, he's actually owns the company Quest Bars. You guys ever heard of Quest Bars, right? They actually ended up being number 2 in the Inc. 500 when he launched Quest Bars, and built it to a multi-billion-dollar company. His background that they had for the first company was software engineering, so not manufacturing whatsoever. No history. He knew how to run businesses, and he knew how to kind of sell online, but no background in manufacturing whatsoever. He just lost 60 pounds of weight and wanted to find a product that didn't have high fructose corn syrup and crap in it. And what was interesting is how he did it. In 3 years, they had 57,000% growth in 3 years, which has never happened in the history of any manufacturing company ever. Like nuts, right? And what's interesting how he did it is, he just had an interview on a podcast I was listening to, which I'm still finishing it. And what's fascinating is that he talked about how before they had the software engineering company, it was him and 2 partners. And whenever he got the opportunity, they welcomed him on the team, and then they sat him and everyone else down, and he was just looking for an opportunity. He was married, and they said, look, there's always room for growth on this team. And what they mean by that is there's always percent of equity, and we're always looking for partners, but it starts at the employee level. So just so you know, if you want to step up and you ever want to be along for the ride, they told this to every single employee that came for the software company. And everyone had the same opportunity. People would fizz away. And then so, he said, he went to his wife and said, look, I see the vision of this. I think that this could be a very big success. And I see the opportunity here, and I'm going to have to step up. And his exact words were, the only way this is going to happen is I have to be available. I mean, I don't care if they need me to show up at 2:00 in the morning. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to move. We're going to go apartment shopping. And when we find apartments, I want to make sure I'm living close right to their house, as close as possible. So he gave his wife the freedom and flexibility to go around and look for what apartments they want to live in. And then he would time it and said, this one's good. We're 7 minutes away. So they moved across to live close to these people, just so he can give as much value as he could to the company and be there, over deliver, step up whenever he needed to, and end up becoming a partner. And he said his exact words were, there's people that talk about success, and then there's people that I don't give a damn. I'm going to be motherfucking successful. His exact words. He said there's a very, very big difference between the two of I'm going to be successful and I'm going to motherfucking be successful. Right? Because when he was saying it, you can hear, during the interview, how extreme it sounds, where you're just like, holy crap, seriously, you moved your wife and your family across and you were looking for an apartment that's within 5 to 7 minutes of these 2 guys. Who does that? Who does that is somebody who's going to do whatever the hell it takes to win, period. What else happened? No manufacturing background, right? So when they started scaling Quest Bars, guess what? He had to get a facility in California, in Compton, California, and they ended up scaling so quickly. He has no manufacturing experience, but because of the bars that they were selling out, they needed a facility. So they bought their first facility, then they couldn't fit. They had to buy pallets worth of stuff that they couldn't fit there, and they couldn't find manufacturers because the machines of technology in today will break if you don't use high fructose corn syrup. There's no advanced technology that exists to be able to manufacture bars using other ingredients that don't include high fructose corn syrup. So they were finding manufacturers that were trying what the machines would break. So he's like, damn it, the whole purpose of Quest bars is that it's going to be healthy, it's going to be organic. There's no sugar, there's no freaking high fructose corn syrup. So they had to take a manufacturer in their own, use their software engineering skills, and they had to actually develop their own machinery over time while building this on the side to be able to solve that problem, because if they didn't, they were screwed. He had no life. He worked his ass off forever, rarely had family time while they were building this company to $1 billion company, no manufacturing background experience whatsoever. And the next thing you know, an Inc., number 2 of Inc. 500 company, and 57,000 increase percentage in 3 years. And he still owns part of it. I think they ended up, I'm not sure what percent ownership he has. I don't know if they went public or what, but let's just say he's focused on impact theory now, and he made a lot of fucking money off that company. We'll just say that. But realize that sometimes in life, when you see things and you see people that are successful, it's like, man, how do they do that? And you think that there's just some magical formula that they followed, or they just some strategy, or what's the secret, or what's the tip, or and it's not. It's like when they tell you, your jaw drops, because you're like, holy crap, this person is insane. Who does this? People who want to fucking win. That's who does it. Winners, literally. Like, it takes actually being committed to something. Like, there's a difference between saying I want to do something and I want to outbound, I want to do dials, I want to put in the time long-term, being consistent and really master this. There's a difference between saying that and being committed to it. So just realize that the people that you see, the people that you follow, and the people who are being idolized by everyone, right? They really break it down in simple terms. He's like, I didn't do anything special. It's just, he just did whatever it actually would take in order to be able to get the opportunity, grow the business, and be successful. And I thought that was really fascinating. I want to share that with you guys because it's interesting that Joey's talking about this today. I literally was listening to this before this, and his exact words were, talking about there's a difference between being committed and actually being committed to being successful. Yep.
Yeah, guys, that's really all there is to it. There's no magic to success. It's literally just work and commitment. That's it. Keep things
100%.
simple. Keep things simple. That's it. There's no secret tactics. There's no secret law of attraction planner that's going to help you get to your goals. It's the person behind everything else. That's you. That comes with commitment.
Yep. And back when we started the team, and we went all in on Live Rich. I remember having the conversation with Joey. I was in a really big financial bind. We had just had a hurricane come in through Florida. I think it was like the second one. No money set aside in savings. And after the hurricane came, my girlfriend works on the beach. And because of the damage that was done, she was out of work for a few weeks. So there's literally no income, like none, around this time. So when that came to, I said, you know what? Of course, she was terrified. And then I'm like, I'm going all in. I'm gonna close. I'm gonna master this. Talk with, once Joey got Kevin David, I was like, we're going to over deliver to Kevin David. We're going to become, we remember us having the conversation, we're going to become the number one team out there. We're going to demolish this. We're going to shower him with so much value and work our asses off to the point where he's going to have no choice but to want to keep us for the long term and refer us to people. And then, so when I kind of hit the gate out the gates and I started killing it and I started closing deals, and and then people saw our success. And when people always ask me is, hey, how are you being so successful? And I'm just like, because I don't have a fucking choice. Like, literally, like, you don't understand. Like, I had no choice.
Yep.
I told my girlfriend, I'm going all in on this. It's do or die. I'm going to step the fuck up and I'm going to do what I have to be able to close and make revenue and do whatever I have to do to be successful. And I'm not going to talk about it. It's just, it just has to be done. And that's it. Like, literally, that there was no secret. It was do or die. So, sometimes it just really takes just like, telling yourself, cool, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be successful. And I'm going to put in the work and put in the hours and just step up.
Yep. It literally is so simple. It's one goal, making that one decision, making that one commitment, and doing everything in your possible power until you get it. That's it. And the funny thing is, right, is I know for a fact I'm not telling you guys anything new at all. Anything new at all. A lot of this stuff, I know a lot of people here are in personal development, right? We follow the same entrepreneurs. We've heard this in the past. But the thing is, how do you know something, truly know something? When you heard it, when you know about it? No. The only thing you know something is when you're living it. And that's it. You're living it. And that's
No,
what I want everybody in this academy to be, living it. You're the person you're the person you say you are. You're committed. You're living commitment, right? You're not one of these people just posting on Facebook saying a motivational quote, but next thing you know, you're just on your phone all day, just scrolling on Facebook and scrolling on Instagram, not doing anything productive with your time, right? That's what we don't want. That's what losers do. We're here to live rich, and living rich means being absolutely committed to yourself and absolutely committed to your goals, and more importantly than that, living it. And I think that's where we're gonna leave off the class today, guys. Is living it. You say you're a closer, but are you living it? Ask yourself that seriously. You say you're a closer, but are you living like a closer right now? Are you actually closing deals? If not, then we got to fix that issue. And that's okay. But that's where courage comes from, you know, staying humble, knowing the exact position where you're at and solving your problems. Anything else, Dylan?
no, that was it. I mean, in terms of mindset, I mean, usually I think Stoley's on here too. I like the Tony Robinson's Tony Robbins 4 boxes.
Oh yeah,
The
visualize.
belief, yeah,
Yep.
the belief, potential, and action results. Uh, Stoley, are you there, bud?
Yes, I am.
You wanna uh, you wanna talk about that real quick? The belief to potential to action to results.
Yeah, so definitely can talk about that. This is actually such a simple concept when it comes to belief and actually seeing exactly what it really is. And actually, really quick, I'm gonna get this pulled up. Um,
It's belief top left, potential is top right, actions bottom right,
yeah,
results is bottom left.
there's so many different. Okay, yeah, someone's drawing it right now. Okay,
I'm on it,
yeah.
bro.
So
I'm on
it
it.
it really comes down to one quote from Henry Ford. It's whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So really internalizing that with what you look at here, what Joe is putting on right now, you have belief. What is your actual belief? Because
Top right
that
is
belief,
potential, Joey. That one's potential.
Got it. Okay.
And then actions in the bottom one, yeah. Dude, this helped me so much. Like I still use this in everything.
yep, that's it. So I believe we start in the top left. Is that right?
Um, the way Tony Robbins describes it is that sometimes when you're into something new, you're not going to have the belief. Obviously, the bigger the belief, the bigger the potential. So the only thing you can really control is actually the action. So what he means by that is obviously, the potential of something. So let me give you guys an example. Someone just posted in the group recently, right? They got a 15% deal and they made $3,000 off of, I think it was, what was it? 20K package, Joey? Is that what they just posted?
Yeah.
So there you go. $3,000 was made in commissions off of closing, right? So without a doubt, everybody here knows, even if you thought, you know what, maybe it's not really possible to do this. Maybe it's not possible to outbound and make 3K in one go, right? Maybe you don't believe that, but guess what? When you see somebody else do it, guess what happens in the potential box? You guys know without a doubt that there is potential. There's at least potential to make $3,000 at one go closing a deal from doing outbounds. Well, how do you know the potential is there? Because somebody did it, right? So the way Tony Robbins describes it is the thing that you can control is action. And once you take massive action, you're going to get a little bit of results, right? And if you get a little bit of results, guess what happens? You're like, holy crap, wait a second. I know there's potential to make $3,000 in one deal. I just closed this deal and I made like $500. Then guess what gets bigger? Your belief. I believe, and my confidence is bigger now, that I can actually have the potential to do $3,000. Like this is real. I could do this. I can do 3,000, right? Then your potential gets bigger and bigger. Then once your potential gets bigger, guess what? Your brain doesn't stop you on action. Your action gets bigger, and then your results get bigger, and it's never ending, going and going and going. And I'll let you piggyback off of that, Stoli.
I'm muted. Yeah. So really at the end of the day, your action is the number one thing that you really need to go ahead and do. Whether it's prospecting for your business, whether it's actually going ahead and kaizening. What I mean by kaizen, I'm pretty sure it's been brought up before, but actually mastering, actually committing to mastery, which means you get to improve yourself 1% every day. That's taking action towards a result. Coming here and actually learning the skill of closing, listening to Dylan, listening to Joey and exactly what's going on, that is exactly what action is. But then again, doing role plays, then again, actually sending messages to influencers, all those things lead to results. And when you get the results, when you get to 10K per month, 3K per month, whatever that is, your belief goes up. That means you can do it. Okay. And that means that you know you have a higher potential. Okay, well, if I'm at 5K, do I have the potential to get to 8K? For sure. And now you think that you can do that, and then you take more action to get to 8K, and then you actually get the results to get to 8K per month. And then it just keeps going and going because this is the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is actually the science behind why back in the day when the guy broke 4 minutes under a mile, he believed he could do it, and he took the action and trained for it. Never been done, so there was zero potential. And everyone thought it was impossible and it's nuts. He's like, nope, I can do it. And he trained for it, right? But what's interesting is 2 years after he did it, when people saw that it was possible and the potential was there, they're like, holy crap, a human being can actually run a mile in under 4 minutes. Countless people did it within following 2 years after that. They did the exact same thing. Why? Because he proved the potential.
Mm-hmm.
He proved it. They believed it was possible. All they had to do was just take the action and train like he did, and then they got the same result.
Yep. And also, I think another thing is basically another a quote to really like get this in is, especially if you see the potential and you know this person, all you really have to ask yourself is, why can't I? After you've seen it, it's like, why can't I? Like, for example, everybody here has the most potential, like, and the thing is, nobody really is special at the end of the day. No one really is special at the end of the day. It really just comes down to the commitment level on, doing what it takes, right? And that comes from the action, and that comes from the action again and again and again and again and again and again, getting better results, having better belief, and having better potential. And really, nothing really is impossible, because if someone else did it, I mean, why can't you? Literally.
Exactly. Yeah. And before we end, does anyone have any questions? And I want to give a shout out to real quick. Let me see if he's still here.
Vasco is here.
Vasco is actually, you guys know, if you guys watched the video on our ambassador program that we launched, where you actually, if you refer people to the academy, you actually get paid commissions in the different ranks. Vasco is actually the first one to make it to silver ambassador. He did it super quick. So make sure that you guys give Vasco congrats in the chat on getting silver. He gets a t-shirt as well. and he's already, trucking for the next level. So he's been killing it.
Oh yeah. By the way, guys, we're gonna have a ambassador Facebook group. So we'll be dropping that soon. And yeah, guys, the only way I think we'll make it fun. We'll make it like a game. The only way you can be in the ambassador Facebook group is actually getting a sale. Put money where your mouth is. Take the action to get to it, right? Let's reward action takers and winners. So again, guys, Vasco, he got 5 sales, totaling out to be, let's do the math, and then I have to go. So 45.8 times 5.
235.
I thought it's 229. I got 229.
It's roughly 47 each. So
it's 48.5 to be exact. So Vasco is now making $229 of passive income a month. Literally, we did this last week, guys. If Vasco can do it, you guys can do it too. Yeah.
That's a car payment, bro.
Literally a car payment. But I'm going to go ahead and go, guys. This was a really fun session. I hope you guys found value in it. Put it in the chat if you guys found value in it. And please implement what we're telling you guys. Because at the end of the day, like all we really care about is you winning. That's really it, is you winning, being the best winner you can be.
Yep. What'd you guys think of the mindset training and commitment and everything today? In the chat. I said fired up. Waking up early for us. Yeah, now that's commitment. I love that, Rohan.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta go. The replay will be up as soon as it's done processing on the cloud. I'll put it in the dashboard. And